McAlpin, you say, in second place, is now trying to charge for the lead, and he's going up the inside as they go in towards clearways. He's up the inside of the rapid starting Will Powell. No real response there other than to try and get across to make sure he doesn't lose 2 places, because John Langford's in that territory.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to Brands Hatch. As you can see, cars are out on track. It's Friday, bit of Friday practice, and what we're doing now is just doing a little test for the first time. Tyler's driven the car in 2 months, getting a feel for the car again, especially in these conditions. As you can see, typical British weather, especially for this time of year. Kind of rainy, kind of miserable, but our spirits are higher. We're happy, we're excited for the weekend ahead. And yeah, we'll catch up with Tyler now.
Right, so we're here at Brands Hatch for the last round of the Miata Trophy Championship this year. As you can see, it's very wet at the moment, Friday testing. We don't normally do the testing, but this round we decided to. We had engine troubles at Cadwell Park, so we never actually managed to make the race day. We had to sadly pull out before the race day after engine failure on the Friday testing. So we're here today just to get some track time, get back in the car. I haven't raced in over 2 months now, so it's really good to get back into the swing of things. Also put a bit more time on the engine. All feels good, feeling good for tomorrow. Track at the moment is very, very, very treacherous. It's very slippery everywhere. There's been a couple of red flags where people are going off into the gravel, but who knows? It should be a good rest of the day and hopefully set myself up good for tomorrow with some better knowledge of the track, conditions, etc. and get some more lap times under my belt.
Interjections for me. There has been a lot of red flags. As you can hear, the cars are just going back out now. There was 2 in the last session that Tyler did. Everyone's doing quite well in these conditions. It's really quite slippery. And yeah, you can see the car out right now.
Right, so Friday testing done here at Brands. Very, very good day. Weather conditions were wet. I think that summarises it. We always knew it was going to be. It's a November round in the UK, so it's always going to be wet. But you know, it was really fun. Fun sliding the car about, going sideways, but also then understanding how the car reacts to the conditions. We played around with setup, which we haven't been able to do all year because obviously not doing testing. So it was a really good, productive day playing with setup, getting an insight into if we change certain things, how it changes the performance of the car, the feeling of the car, handling the car, etc. So I feel like we've now got the car in a good place for tomorrow. I'm hoping for these sort of conditions, slightly damp, not heavy rain, but damp, wet track. I feel like that's where my rallycross background helps me out a bit. I'm used to that sort of stuff, so I feel like in an ideal world, that would be ideal conditions for me. But you never know. I think it's supposed to be dry tomorrow, but it's raining currently now, the track's still damp, you never know. So we'll have to see, and we look forward to tomorrow.
Giving a great pleasure to say, it's race day, everyone. Lovely Saturday morning, now 9:05. Sun is shining. It was really foggy this morning, as you've seen. Still cleared up, kind of cleared up in like 5 minutes. The cars are out on track, as you can hear. That's the qualifying for the track day championship, I think. And Tyler is qualifying next. So we'll have a look at that now. I hope you're doing well. Situation report, the fog has come back. Let me show you really quick. Now, as you can see, the visibility is ever so slightly reduced again. I mean, the cars are under safety car, still the session from before. Interesting conditions, because obviously racing, you can't race under this. Yeah, I mean, we don't want to spend the whole time on safety car, but it's obviously understandable for safety. But yeah, hopefully it gets soon again. So, hello everyone, editor's note here, this is Keith, and long story short, qualifying did get cancelled. Tyler mentioned this later, but I figured I'd interject and say something now. Qualifying was cancelled. They spent the whole time under safety car, so no one could actually set a lap. So I'll show you the documents from that. But long story short, they set it by championship position. So that means that for us and for Tyler, he's starting P7 for race 1.
Well, welcome to those of you that are joining us on the stream that has now gone live. And in fact, we're just in that box that you can see there on the camera. What you may notice in the background, it's a wee bit gloomy. Let me tell you, that's less gloomy than it has been most of the morning. We started here in beautiful sunshine, and then it became an absolute pea super. And we'll bring you the interesting challenges that has brought to us in the fact that qualifying was virtually non-existent.
Looking at the way they've lined up, I think there will be a couple of drivers climbing their way through the order,
which we love.
Tyler McAlpin could be attacking and defending. Tyler McAlpin and Will Powell make up row 4. The field are going onto their green flag warming up lap.
Off they go onto, and I'm assuming we are only doing a single green flag lap because I guess it's the same conditions that we had for their qualifying session. So we'll give it the one tour round and then we'll get this race underway.
Somebody that will gel with both of these conditions, not only is Hills can do in the Mark IV, because I don't think there's a vast difference. But if there is one, what is it?
Red lights are on, engine notes are rising, off go the lights and off go the field for the first race of today, and that is a real struggle to get away. Our pole sitter hasn't done great, but the front row starting James Cossins goes into the lead, and it looks like Declan Lee, your forecast for a good race, has got himself up into second place already.
Yeah, Kamal Kelsey is the car that's starting from the pit lane. We're now seeing John Langridge have a look around the outside on the run up towards Druids. He's looking for third place at the moment, so they very briefly, effectively disappear out of our sight up into the fog, but then reappear. James Cossins leads with Declan Lee all over his tail. Lydden Hill's managed to fend off the attentions of John Langridge, and then who's that sat behind John Langridge? That could actually be Tyler McAlpin or Will Morris there. Is that Tyler McAlpin? It is indeed. So Tyler McAlpin, brilliant start through the order. Drew Fletcher is fighting away. The mid-pack, everybody's trying to fight there. It laid a couple of cars around him.
Brilliant start from John Langridge, the number 1 car. Oh, he's just got a little bit out of shape as he's going through and out of clearways. Not massively, but just enough to lose his momentum, and he's about to be passed by Tyler McAlpin. The number 10 car, black with the day glow flashes, is going to have the inside line. It's a drag race all the way up to the front. Equally up further ahead of them, there's a drag race, but through goes McAlpin, the number 10 car. What does that put him up to? Into 4th place there, and that was all just from the loss of momentum coming out of clearways from John Langridge, who was about to say a brilliant start from 6th on the grid.
And now Tyler McAlpin is hot on the heels of Lydden Hill.
Nowhere.
Safety car's out there.
Yeah, safety car, as expected, has neutralised that one. So we saw, job by the marshals to sort of get him out and back on, because that slippery grass, I mean, you look, they've got, and the all-comers, some good synergy for either side of the lunch break there, and we round out our action today, which I don't believe we are covering on the street.
Gravel to continue on. The safety car lights are off. We are going to go back racing. It's going to be a 12-minute race in the end, because Miata Trophy racing wasn't close enough.
Goodness me, I thought we were about to have contact where they dropped away from the safety car. One car zigged as the other zagged, and it nearly brought a spot of bother, but thankfully we got away with it. Cousins doing some real efforts to warm up as they come round the Clark curve onto the start-finish straight. The green flags will greet them, and we'll get this back underway. We've still got just under 12 minutes of this race left to go. A brilliant restart by our race leader.
3 wide in towards turn 1. Ollie Allwood, Will Powell and Michael Nibbs all fighting their way in. Away from James Cossins. He's too busy defending from that of Lydden Hills.
As Will Morris, number 17, that's got past John Langridge, and another car.
Jack Brewer, that one.
Right, the bright yellow and blue and red flashes on that one. So Langridge lost 2 places, about to make one of them back up again as he dives up the inside. But further up, we have a side-by-side for second place, and that is your pole sitter Lydden Hills, the 111 car, this year's champion, albeit in a different car, was trying to look up the inside of Declan Lee, the dark green number 12, but that's really unsettled them, because all of a sudden coming at them is the number 10 McAlpin car.
Yeah, Tyler McAlpin. They've got a brilliant run coming out of the final corner, and now he's looking to cut back on Lydden Hills, but very quickly realised he was going to run out of road as they went through Paddock Hill Bend. John Langridge through the gravel as they go up the hill, so that's going to cost him yet more time and a couple more places. Ollie Allwood sneaks his way up the inside as well. Also there is Michael Nibbs trying to carve his way through and past in the number 82 machine, heading down in towards Graham Hill Bend, slightly wide of the apex is Declan Lee, maybe experimenting with a wider line, because in theory these are wet conditions. Michael Nibbs does manage to get through and past John Langridge. As the field continue on, we've got a spin further down the order. That looks like Brian Chandler in the number 78 machine. There was a bit of contact. Here comes Tyler McAlpin, diving up the inside of Lydden Hills, maybe getting 2 for the price of 1 up the inside of Declan Lee. That's going to get close on the exit, side by side as we go over the start-finish line.
That was nearly an amazing 2 for, wasn't it? 2 for 1, but having tried to move up on Declan Lee, he's now vulnerable to the Mark 4 of Lydden Hills, the 111 car. He's now trying to, well, he was about to try and go for second, and he was actually then having to fight to hold on to third. So it goes to show how tricky this is, and as they go up towards the Druids hairpin, Lydden Hills trying to close that door. I was a bit worried he was going to crunch across the front of his nose a little bit too late there, but thankfully it all just worked itself out.
3-car battle in the background, it's allowing him to run away with the lead.
And that really came from a fantastic start. Look at this for second place. There's 3 of them trying to fight. Lydden Hills, your pole sitter, has now got that back again. 2 of them working together in slipstream means that they were both able to go alongside and start edging past the Declan Lee car, number 12, but he's managed to only lose 1 place there at the moment. But McAlpin looking up the inside at the Druids hairpin. Surely he's going to have enough there as he then gets on the power on the exit. Yeah, nicely done there. He hasn't even had to push him wide on the exit of the hairpin. We're already in the slipstream effects, they're going quicker. McAlpin's looking up the inside of Lydden Hills. Those 2 have managed to drop Declan Lee. The number 12 car that was threatening for the lead before the safety car has now dropped down to 4th place, but Lydden Hills got out of shape there, which means McAlpin's able to put the power down as he goes down the hill and up into 2nd place for the number 10 car.
Running towards turn 1, Ollie Allwood, we said he was going to start out of position from 11th place. He dives his way up the inside of Jack Brewer. That will make him 6th, but all the way through the gravel on the exit of Paddock Hill Bend goes Tyler McAlpin, and those 3 places he's just gained hemorrhage away, and it's Lydden Hills back up into 2nd place.
That's got to be so infuriating. He's worked hard over a sequence of laps to get himself up into that 2nd place. Oh, we've got a car off on the exit of Paddock Hill Bend. I will try and see if we can work out which one that is.
Didn't see who that was, but Jack Brewer reluctant in giving him the room, so comes over and slams the door shut. There's still 5 minutes remaining, so I'd imagine we would see the safety car return to the circuit. That's not necessarily the best place for a live recovery. Almost a bit of contact further down the order between Tyler McAlpin and Will Powell. Jack Brewer still managing to fend off that of Ollie Allwood and John Langridge. Michael Nibbs giving chase. Might eagerness to overtake off the start. Ended up right the hill, sort of 3 or 4 feet off the ground on 2 wheels. So wow. it was a long way off the ground, was Michael Nibbs. So it shows that he can fight. He's just struggling to find the room. Here comes Jack Brewer all the way around the outside of Ollie Allwood, but now Ollie Allwood manages to get through. The red flag is out, and that will see a halt to this race and hopefully a resumption, but we are 76 or sort of 3/4 of the way through this race.
A group of cars behind them, so that should in theory be the end. There was no way that they could throw a safety car, recover that car and get it back to racing, so wasn't worth doing it, that one.
Right, so race 1 done here at Brands. It was a very good race, all things considered, to be fair. Qualifying essentially got cancelled. We had to do the whole 15 minutes behind safety car because fog came down and it wasn't deemed safe enough for us to go out there and do qualifying. So it was championship order decided the grid for race 1. So I started 7th and ended up finishing 5th on track, but 4th in class. Got up to 2nd at one point, was really good. The pace was there, really quick, only 2 tenths, a tenth, 2 tenths off the fastest lap, so really happy with that. Until I made a mistake, that was all my own fault, my own doing. Just overcooked it to turn 1 and went slightly wide. But all things considered, it was a really good race. 7th to 4th in class. I can't complain really, it was a good race. So now I'm going to be starting 4th for race 2. There's a slight dry line forming now because just the cars going around the track. It's not necessarily got warmer or sunny, but we'll see what this race brings. I reckon this will be some tough conditions because there will be a drying track, and if you go offline, it'll be very slippery in comparison to the normal race line. So should be good, and hopefully we can get a good result. Maybe, being optimistic, maybe even a podium. We never know, we'll see.
Welcome back, everybody. We hope you enjoyed your lunch break. Marshall's waving at the grid, which means we've got drivers on their way. Now, row 2 is Tyler McAlpin and Ollie Allwood, car 10 and 63. It's
Into the wall heading up towards Druids, wasn't he? And then, bless him, he was there trying to move. He was only on the grass, but because of the uphill and the
second board held aloft. The red lights go on now. There they go, finally come on. It was a long, long wait, but the red lights are on, and as the red lights go off, it's a good start from Will Powell. Ollie Allwood goes nowhere, desperately trying to make up the time that he lost from that poor start. But we're going to be 3 wide in towards turn 1. Drew Fletcher's on the inside, down in what is 5th place at the moment, but that's probably the place he wants to be. On the inside. Does everybody make it through on this occasion? Yes, they do. A couple of cars running wide, but more importantly, Will Powell to the lead. Who's now sat there in 2nd place? That's Tyler McAlpin once again. Customers.
Well, it looks to me like, is that McAlpin, you say, in 2nd place, is now trying to charge for the lead, and he's going up the inside as they go in towards clearways. He's up the inside of the rapid starting Will Powell. No real response there other than to try and get across to make sure he doesn't lose 2 places, because John Langridge in that green and white, dark green and white number 1 car, he looked interested as well. And in fact, he's lunging quite late towards the inside as they got towards Paddock Hill Bend. Thinks better of it. It just looks brilliant.
It was brilliant. I remember seeing it years ago, and then it seemed to disappear, but it's good to see it back sideways as he arrives into shot. Is the 25 of Will Powell. But whilst all that's going on, Tyler McAlpin, he's disappearing up the road. Last time through was the fastest lap of the race. This time I'd imagine will be another. It was a 57.667, goes through, breaks the beam and posts a 57.579. So Tyler McAlpin extends his lead margin up to the best part of 1.5 seconds through and over the start finish line. No, we've got yellow flags and he's off at the final corner. That'll be why he's not quite come through as of yet. He's in the gravel, and unfortunately, just before we get towards Clark Curve, he's not going to be able to rejoin the circuit.
Yeah, that was just tucked behind the folding doors there, wasn't it? We couldn't quite see that one. That's interesting. That's in firing line. Marshall's out there just chatting to the driver. Double waved yellows there for
safety car.
Yeah, and I'm not sure, but there was a good couple of rows between them. Baldwin was then another couple of rows further forwards.
Thinking as well, that's Tyler McAlpin's 1.5 second lead completely gone now.
It's devastating, that, isn't it? He'd done well there. We've still got 11 minutes 10 to go. They have tucked the stricken able car number 23, that isn't quite so able anymore, tucked it backwards, you're welcome, through the gravel trap and against the barriers. The recovery truck's out of the way, so the safety car's lights are out, and we're back under the control of our race leader McAlpin. The number 10 car is just slowed away from that safety car, and he's just trying to get some temperature into his tyres, into his brakes, and he's just psyching them out. Which point is he going to go on the B for bang? And he's just trying, he's weaving, trying to make them think he's not ready to go yet. There he goes, just as he gets towards Clark Curve. He's dropped the hammer and he's now away, and he has caught them very slightly napping. I tell you, needed to be careful there. I think they just about were. Was the number 14?
James played Baldwin,
yeah. He was been flying in this early stage, but he was ready to go a bit early, wasn't he?
He went for the move on Lydden Hills, stopped, and now it's cost him sort of 3 or 4 places. But he did go for the move. Declan Lee up the inside of John Langridge. John Langridge washes wide. Declan Lee goes through. That leaves John vulnerable now to the likes of Will Morris, who's going to try and go all the way around the outside. Brilliant move as the gain. Tyler McAlpin, I mean, he started as he's meant to go on, really. Another fastest lap of the race, a 56.925, albeit it's now Declan Lee that's hunting him down. So I've got a feeling Declan has got a hospitality box opposite us. I think I can see Declan's father just opposite. But Declan really pushing on.
Psychological raindrops, something I often refer to.
Yeah.
But it's going to be enough of a spray, hence the wipers are on, hence it's a little bit gloomier and dark now, or darker should I say. But that doesn't seem to be bothering McAlpin. 14 laps in the book, we've got 4.5 minutes left to go. He is over 2 seconds clear of this wonderful fight for 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah, Declan Lee doing everything he can to defend from Will Morris.
Number 1 car, Do-Si-Do, your partner, stopped when the music stops. It's just so much going on this, and we're less than 2 minutes to go. Meanwhile, McAlpin in the number 10 car has gone, see you later, boys, I'll leave you to it.
Yeah, loving this. Will be Tyler McAlpin.
Be there doing any more than threatening, but here comes our race leader about to start the final lap. So it's going to be a 19-lap race. McAlpin would have been gutted when that safety car came out, wouldn't he? But at the moment, looks like he's done a good restart and follow it through.
Yeah, Declan Lee will be slightly gutted as well, I think, because he was looking good for second place, but John Langridge has got through, Aidan Hills has gone through, and he's sat there in fourth place. James Cossins has never got that car struck into life, really, but he's still fighting away with Brian Chandler. He's just about holds on to the position for now. Here comes Drew Fletcher. He gets a brilliant run up the hill as we head up towards Druids. But Tyler McAlpin doing everything he needs to. What can Aidan Hills do on the final lap of the race?
Well, down the Cooper Straight they go for the final time, turning left as our leader McAlpin. Now turning left is this incredible fight for second place. That great image of them going from side to side through Surtees and McLaren into clear wave. John Langridge has the nod up into second place. He's going to be licking his lips at that because he was more towards the middle or the rear of this one, but it was a big shuffle. Checkered flag goes to our race leader, race winner McAlpin. A brilliant job. John Langridge does hold on to that second place from Aidan Hills, the triple one car, just ahead of Morris and Lee, and Powell, number 25, in the back of that group. Absolutely incredible stuff all the way through it.
The camera, he's on his way. There he is, Tyler. Hello. That was, I mean, as Chris said, you had to do it twice. It was sort of the first part of the race was about building the gap. Then it all disappeared with the safety car, and you just let everyone behind fight again.
Yeah, I mean, you can probably tell by my voice, quite happy. Yeah, no, I got the start, I got into the lead, I thought, this is great. And then I saw the gap building, I was like, this is great, I can't think of anything better. Then as I came through Graham Hill, I was like, oh, I see something in the gravel. I thought, straight away I knew it was going to be a safety car, there was no chance it was going to stay green. And then I was like, okay, as soon as I knew that, I was like, right, well, he's gone, I need to build it back up now. So yeah, literally just made sure to keep everyone on safety car, get a safety car restart. And then once I got a safety car restart, I got 1-2 car length gap and I didn't even look back, just kept on going.
It was similar to race one of fighting through the order. Is this something we can expect to see more from you next year? Are we going to see you back?
Oh yeah, definitely see me back. Hopefully, yeah. I feel like I've got a better understanding of the car now. I mean, first year in it, so I was hoping. A very vague thought for me was to try and get a podium. So to get a win's even better. So yeah, no. Hopefully now I can build on this into next year. Now that I know the car a lot better, I know most of the tracks we go to. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully, I can keep on moving.
Brilliant stuff. Massive well done.
Cheers, thank you.
Race 2 done now. As you might be able to hear a bit from my voice. Quite happy. Started third in the end. There was a bit of a strange thing with the grids and I actually got promoted position, which I'm not complaining about. So I knew it would be a really good chance for me to get a good result out of that race. Got up in second off the start and I was right on the back of the guy in first and I thought, you know what, I have to pace it. I was right on his bumper. Dummy to move, got him offline, then he went wide at the last corner. I went down the inside. And then from there, I just built up the gap until about 5 minutes later, there was a safety car. And I was like, great. So not only did I have to do my first ever safety car, but also my first ever time leading a race, it got cut short by a safety car. But yeah, 2-3 laps under safety car and then it got going again. I feel like I nailed the safety car restart, to be fair. Got a nice 2 car length gap before I even got to turn 1. And then really, I just didn't look back. I was just saying, I was making sure consistent laps, that's all I was doing. But it was consistent quali laps every single lap. And I think most of my laps were within like a tenth of each other, so I was really happy with that. I ended up building up a gap about 3 seconds and then crossed the line in first. So I am absolutely buzzing. I mean, at the start of the season, I would have been happy to be top 10s. That was my own aspiration. And then it's sort of, as the results got better and better, I thought, oh, maybe top 5. And it's like, a very long shot, but maybe even a podium. So to come away with a win is just mental, and I'm, yeah, over the moon. Can't wait for next year, and hopefully to build upon what I learned this year.
Right, so season done here. Roller coaster of a season, really. Ups and downs. I mean, top 10s really all year, so I really can't complain. First time in the MX-5, first time real drive, first time circuit racing, so I really can't complain with the season we've had. I mean, it's had its ups and downs. The highs, as I said, top 10s, lows, gearbox failure, engine failure, but apart from that, it's been a great year. And I mean, to top it off with a win at the end, I would have been happy with top 5 podium, but to top it off with a win at the end of the season is just mega. But I always thought that I was there or thereabouts, and then this weekend proved, even race 1, I was second, I had the pace, so to finish it off and to win the last race of the season is just great. Some great momentum can be taken into next year, hopefully. And yeah, hopefully I can build on the positive season we've had this year, and who knows what 26 will bring.
I get to say the line. And with that, the 2025 season is over. Thank you and good night. But in all seriousness, thank you all so much for watching. It's been really fun to make these and been really fun to watch. I hope you've enjoyed it all too. That's pretty much all. We're signing off from Brands now. See, it's the end of the day. The Enduro car qualifying is going on now. For us, it's time to sit back, relax, and start the grind for next year. So once again, a big thank you to everyone that made this season possible, all the sponsors, everyone that's watching this, everyone that watches all the reels, all that stuff. And we hope to see you all again very soon.